Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk More Action Golf. I'm your host, Luke Josepha, and today we have a fantastic lineup for you. Joining us is the visionary behind an exciting golf brand apparel, Angela Reynolds. She's the founder and CEO of FOREUS Golf Clothing. We'll dive into Angela's journey and the inspiration behind FOREUS in a moment. But I want to share something with you all before we get into today's episode. A few weeks ago, a friend of mine asked me, do I watch golf? And I said, yeah, I do, but I mostly like to watch the LPGA. And the reason why I said that is because oftentimes when I'm watching the PGA, the guys who play there, they're professional, they're amazing, and at least for me, right, the course never seemed to be super challenging, right? It's always one shot off the tee, second shot they're on the green, and they're putting for birdie. In rare occasions, you'll see someone struggle or having to get creative to get on the green, which is what I like about the LPGA, because I think the LPGA, it doesn't look easy. It looks like, at least for me, what I find, what I appreciate about the game of golf is being able to navigate and manage mistakes, right? So sometimes you may make a mistakes, the golf ball spins a lot of time in the air, sometimes because of weather, something is miscalculated, and then you land somewhere that you did not expect, and having to navigate around that. And I found out, when I watch the PGA, that's always lacking for me. Personally, I know I may get heat for this, a lot of time I find it to be boring, because everyone is green in regulation, birdie, 12 under, so on and so forth, and there's no real challenge until I watched the most recent PGA Open at Troon in Scotland, and I realized, wow, yes, that's what I appreciate about golf. Seeing people hit the ball off the tee, and it's going right, it's going left, because the weather's, is unpredictable. Balls are getting in the rough. Folks are quitting before the round is over. That to me was an exciting tournament. And I wish I would see more courses that are this challenging, or at least as challenging, as the open course at the Royal Troon. And I thought, yeah, I really like that. And I think for me, that was really exciting golf, right? The challenges of the course, unpredictable weather, but also having to navigate around the difficulties of the course. Those sand bunkers, those sand traps are, really unbelievably challenging. And I got I was really excited to watch that, so when I was telling my friend this, and he thought, well, yeah, but still, it's always interesting to see some of the best men, in the world play the world of golf. But I think for me, personally, I want a course that's challenging. I don't want to see perfection, because I don't know that golf is, as in my short time of playing golf, I don't know that golf is about perfection, right? So when I first started playing, I would be all over the course. I would be in the rough. I would be everywhere. And one of the best advice that I was given is play the ball as it lies. And at the time, I did not understand, because I was really frustrated with my slicing the ball, misaligning, I'm landing all the way to the right, all the way to the left. But because I played the ball as it lied every single time, now when something happens, it's easy for me to get it and make sure that I either get bogey or sometimes par, even though I'm in the rough. And I think seeing those professionals, in my opinion, who are so used to a perfect course, seeing them struggle there was a little gratifying for me. Not because I take pleasure in seeing other people's suffer, but for me, it was gratifying to see these guys really, or at least play like me, right? Landing in the rough. So I just wanted to share that with you all. So listen, I'm always open for feedback and guidance and comments. So if you have any comments, any feedback, share them with me in the in the comment section of either the IG page or on whatever platform you're listening to this. Type in the comment. Or if you want to reach out to me directly, do so at Let's Talk More Action Golf at gmail.com. So it's Let's Talk More Action Golf at gmail.com. Let's get into the show. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast on your favorite platform. And of course, follow us on social media for the latest update and exclusive content. Let's get comfortable and let's get started with Let's Talk More Action Golf podcast. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Oh, man, I am joyful. Listen, I'm so grateful, and I want to thank you for doing this. I know you mentioned you were just coming off work. Yeah. How was your day?
Busy.
Busy?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm super grateful for you for agreeing to be interviewed. And I want to give you a little background. So because oftentimes I request to interview people and they're not really sure. It's only because, like, one, I admire what they're doing. I like the characterization of how they're bringing in golf, because I find that on your page, you really create, or you marry really like having life with playing golf and still being competitive, right?
Yeah.
Like, so you still take both of these things seriously. So talk to me a little bit about, or at least I want to hear about your day. How was your day? What is your day like?
My day I'm doing the 75 hard right now. So I wake up at 3:45 every morning and I do 2 workouts. Because I wanted to challenge myself. So it's I'm on my day 33. So my day starts at 3:45 in the morning and I do 1 workout, and then you have to do your second workout has to be outside. And then after that, I get ready, get myself, and then I go into work. I have to be at work. I get there by like 7:15, and then I manage a full waxing salon. It's a franchise called Radiant Waxing. I've been there for like 10 years. And then so I work there until like 2 on some days, and some days I do 12-hour shifts. So I do like a 8 to 8. And so that's my day. And then I try to filter in like working on my brand FOREUS. I get on like some calls with like a mentor that's helping me trying to get finance. And then I try to do content as well to incorporate all that in there as well.
And I think that's what always comes across to me very clear, is that you're not doing content to just do content. You're kind of like really showing what it's like to navigate all these things, real regular life, day-to-day life, and then trying to create a brand in addition to playing golf, which I think for me, it was like, oh my God, that's amazing. I really like that.
Yeah.
So what got you into golf?
So it was, I was married and he golfed a lot. That's like when he was in sales, his boss was like, hey, these guys want to go on golf courses, so you're going to have to take up golf. And so we took up golf. And then we had a group of friends and they were like, you should come, you were an athlete, you should just try it out. Cause I was like, I didn't understand. I'm like, who goes and golfs for 4 hours? Like, I didn't get that. So I went with them. And then I remember hitting the driver and I was just like, wow, this little ball. And I like it in the way that it went down just to see what you did. And I was like, wow, this is cool. And then from there, I just wanted to try to get better, understand the game. And then it just got to the point where I was like, I just want to do it all the time. I just want to be good at it. And then I was fortunate enough with him to be able to go to like golf courses like the Pelican, play at Pebble Beach, play at TPC Salt. We traveled Mexico, and so I was able to really golf at these really like amazing golf courses. But then I later on in life, I started to realize like, man, there's not a lot of like me out there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And, time goes on, and, I still played, but, I also was like, raising a family. And then just like, I kind of got back into it. I've always played, but I really was like, you know what, there needs to be some representation. I know there's some golf lines out there, obviously Nike, you're never going to compete with them. And there's a lot of amazing, Black men that have these awesome lines, but I just wanted to see representation for myself. And I wanted these young Black women and young Black men to be able to just like know that they need to be a part of this game as well, and so that's what made me say, like, I saw these brands coming out, and I'm like, why can't I do a brand? I'm a great golfer. And I think I would represent really well for women. I live in I live in Salt Lake City, Utah, and there's not a lot of Black people here, maybe 1%. And so I'd like to start something here, even if I move, where it could just be chapters, where it can just like the kids that are in school. We have a lot of Sudanese and a lot of like a lot of different people from different countries. And I would really love to have that in there, because there's a lot of scholarships for like young women that they don't know about, and I'd like to start something like that. So that's where it made me say, all right, I'm going to start this brand. And my sister and she helped me, like we were designing the logo and everything. And that's how it came about.
So that sounds really intentional. And I appreciate that. Sounds very mission driven. You knew exactly what you wanted to do. But was that immediate? Was that around the same time you pick up golf and then you realize?
No.
Okay,
No.
what was that time space?
The time space was probably, I always saw it like I always kind of like knew when I was going golfing that I didn't see, a lot of Black women. I played with a lot of other women, and I think it was just the time, like where do I go? Like how do I do this? Like I've owned businesses, like my own like salon, but I was like, how do I go about this? And then obviously social media got really big. Okay. So here you got these platforms, Instagram, TikTok, and then you start seeing like, oh, there's people that can help you with branding, e-commerce. Like, those are things that like, unless you start like really digging deep, you didn't realize that stuff was there, like, yeah, you go to your bank, but your bank's like, ooh, a clothing brand, like, like how much is that going to generate? But then you realize like, yeah. Oh, you can do e-commerce. Like you can start your Shopify. You can, oh my gosh, how do you you can get your manufacturer in China, in Dubai. And so that's where I was like, oh, I can be able to do this on my own. And then have a backing where where I was like, I'm like, it's just in-house for me, you know what I'm saying? And then I would love it where I'd have like my family and friends, and also just, and also have it where I am hiring people that, are like me, that love the game and really want to see the diversity on, the golf course.
So it sounds like you knew exactly what you wanted to do. You had the vision, and you're really good at executing. How much of and that sounds, for a business person, this is great. How much of that get transferred onto the course when you're playing based on your personality?
Like when I'm on the course, like how much do I put my business out there?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, when I'm like out there, like I always will like wear something that like has like my brand. And like people will ask me, like I'll go there like, oh, what's FOREUS? I'm like, oh, that's my brand, and they're like, all right, let me know. So that's how I've sold. Like I started out just with my sweatsuit. So I did like a little small launch, and people from Instagram and stuff bought my stuff. My local people that I have here that have known me, I've played in golf tournaments. So everybody's known that I've been doing it. So they keep asking me like, when's the line going to come out? And it's like, when you're doing it yourself, you're using your own funding, and you also are dealing with manufacturers. It just doesn't happen like that, And also it's like contacts, and that's the dynamics. Like there's people that I know that have contacts that are in the PGA. So easy for them. You already have that. Me, I'm having to like do everything myself with my 9-to-5, balancing my home, and then and trying to get all that in, making contacts, sending money so they can send my samples over, so it's a lot more, it puts a lot more work for me. So I wish I could just be like, boom, I have a line. I'm going to drop it tomorrow, put it in stores, but it's not that easy, when you're doing it all on your own.
Yeah. How much of your personality you infuse in the brand?
Oh, 100%.
So what are some of those qualities you want to always be visible for your brand?
I want to be, so transparent, honest. I mean, my character is funny, love of the game, always learning, knowing that golf, you can't take it so serious because like
Mhm.
you can have, you just can't, like you have good games and you have bad games. But like, I always just want to be transparent and be so like forthcoming with people to know that it's a great game, great networking. The people that you meet, I've met the most amazing people on the golf course where like I'm talking business and like just like you hear people's life stories on a golf course. You get to really meet somebody and really dig deep for 4 hours. And so that's what my line for us is like. It represents me as a Black woman that enjoys a sport that I can do like when I'm 80, 90 years old. I've played with people that are like 90 years old and they still golf. Yeah. And my
Those are
ultimate,
so the most. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish.
I said, and then if in a perfect world, I want to buy land and I would love to like design a golf course, like a private golf course. It would be amazing.
Yeah. Wow, that would be impressive. That's Michael Jordan Lee right there. So
I know,
listen,
I know.
hey, if it's possible, you could do it.
It's true.
Once dreams come out, the intention is great.
It's true.
I was about to say, like playing with people who are much older, like 90-year-old women. I especially find some of the best games I've had have included women, right, and older women. In fact, right?
Yeah.
Like they're joking, they don't take it, too serious, but they're really good.
Yes.
Right? They'll make good jokes. Yeah, I truly appreciate that. So you have the FOREUS, you determined that when you started playing, there weren't a lot of people who looked like you and the brands that you were or at least were not something for you. Like, so talk to me about your process. How do you determine what you're going to drop? You mentioned sweatsuit, right? To have a sweatshirt. Talk to me about the process to determine what it is that you think the market needs now. What are some of the gaps and also opportunities for us to, into the brand fashion landscape?
Okay. So what I see as far as like for women, I don't know, it's very like there's a brand out now and they base their whole style is like masters, the masters. And I think for me, like I think if you're a person of color, we all know when it comes to the masters, there was just so much history to like what Black people were for the masters. We were caddies, but we were really great golfers. But obviously in those times we weren't able to do that. So when I see a brand like that, it doesn't like, obviously they have women that are modeling, but I still don't like, for me, I don't feel that that's inclusive for me. When I see that brand, I don't feel like, and I know they're trying to incorporate, but I know them and I work with the girl that knows the girl that started. It's called For All. But like, I wouldn't wear the brand because I don't really feel it represents me. I feel like when you're a person of color, we love bright colors. Look at your shirt, It's like we love color. We look great in color. And I don't ever see anything that's like bright and fun, like, I mean, think about like the 90s hip hop and how we were, like we love color. And so I want to bring a brand that just has beautiful color in it, pinks and greens and yellows and, like African colors that are just like great material, great for all body shapes. Cause I reach out to girls and I'm like, I'll say, hey, what do you want in a brand? They're like, one lady, she said, I need a brand that's going to fit my butt. And I was like, like I'm thicker. Like it just doesn't. And I'm like, so that's what I want. We are built in different sizes and shapes. I'm 5'11", and so it's like, you need stuff that's like, if it's a dress, I can't have it coming up when I'm swinging. You want it to be presentable. I want it to be for older women as well, so I just want something that like it pops, like you see it and you're like, oh, that's a FOREUS brand right there. Like I know that brand.
So I really like the play on the name FOREUS.
Yeah.
Because it includes an aspect of golf for watch out. So speaking of watching out, I always like to ask entrepreneurs, like, what are some rewarding mistakes that they've made either in the beginning of the journey or as they're going through the whole process?
Of like doing for us?
Yeah. What are some rewarding mistakes you've made?
Like, it was like trying to come up with like how do we do it? So, you have FUBU, we're like, oh, we gotta be careful because you don't want to take that, because that was a staple that we grew up with. And I was like, you don't want to do that. For us by, me and my sister, I was like, I know what, and I went through so many different names,
Oh yeah.
And so I was like, all right. And then it was funny. She lives in Tennessee and she works at a school, and there's a golf teacher, and but he's also a graphic designer. And so she's at work. She's sending me stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's okay, but we need to put like a golf ball in it, and I want to like have it where there's the grass. So it's just like, I don't want to just say for us. I want it to have a golf club and everything in it. And so we were going, it's funny if that's my next video. I kind of want to do a video that shows what it looked like before, and then all of a sudden what it came to be, and like, when you look at it, you're like, it came to be like, here's the golf ball, right here. And then you have the grass, and then you have, like the grass, and then you have the golf club, and then I wanted the brown, just because obviously, I'm a brown Black woman. And so that's what I wanted. And then it just looks really clean. Like when it's vibrant, you wouldn't think, like if I showed you a sweatsuit in person, it just like it on a pink, it's beautiful. Like it's just, when I drop my sweatsuits and I wore them all the time, all around my city, I got so many compliments. Like, that sweatsuit is nice. And so for me, I'm like, oh, that's doing something, and people start saying like, yeah, there's just nothing out there that represent, women of color. And I'm like, and I'm like, and then also just like, people are afraid to get on the golf course because it's very male driven, a lot of the girls that reach out to me like, how do you go play golf by yourself? Like, I don't want to get paired up with anybody. And I was like, listen, no one on there is a professional. You pay just like everyone else. And I just go in there and I'm just like, I tell them like this, I'm just glad to be out here. I'm glad to be out here playing. Don't take it like, you guys don't have to be waiting on me. You just like I always say, know the golf etiquette, know the golf course, know what you need to do, keep pace. And as long as you're doing that, you can't find your ball, drop a ball, but it's more people will get upset when you're taking so long, or you just don't know what the golf course management is. But yeah, that was the trials I went through, just like how I was going to design it, and then sending it out. And I was like I was doing t-shirts through, Printify. And I was like, oh, that material. And it just didn't look right. I was like, man. And then someone's like, no, you got to find a manufacturer. Like, you got to go to China. You got to reach out to China. You got to reach out to people in Pakistan, because you're just going to get quality stuff. And for the amount that you want to get, like paying in the US, you'll lose your money, And so that's where I started to do. And then when I did my sweatsuits, I'm like, wow, like that's crazy. And so that was kind of my trials and tribulations. And, I'm still learning. Like, there's some stuff I got from China that, like, I'm like, it came and I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't even buy that myself, but you have to go to them.
Okay. Yeah.
You're paying $100 a sample. And so that's where like, where you're like, you're not just going to get that box is not going to come and everything's going to be great. So, but when you find the manufacturer, which I'm trying to dial in, that's when it's a game changer. If that one manufacturer that I'm still trying to find, and I think we're almost there, then I'll be good. And that's when I'll just start putting stuff out and putting men polos out and just, doing my thing.
I really like that, because it sounds like there's always a process, but in everything you're saying, what I hear is a lot of confidence, right? So I want to talk about the brand, the confidence with the brand, but I want to touch on the golf confidence first.
Yeah.
I never met, or at least I haven't met until you, someone with that from not knowing how to play to into the course.
Yeah.
With that level of confidence. Most people, me included, struggle to like, ooh, wait, they're behind me. I need to go something. But like the way you're like, hey, you lost the ball right away. Had I been doing that, I think I would have saved so much more time to be confident to say, okay, we just lost the ball. I don't have to spend 3 hours trying to find because I'm embarrassed. Move on. Where is confidence from?
Honestly, I think it's just my upbringing, I came from some strong, like really strong Black women. My grandma was from like Hot Springs, Arkansas. Her and my grandpa went through, they were segregated. My grandma was like half Creole, half African American, and my grandpa was in the military. And like they came to Salt Lake because he was in the Air Force, and so being and seeing their struggle, and then just kind of I had to fight through things, like I was like a tall, lanky girl that played sports. I played basketball, I ran track, and my brother taught me everything. And so I had this confidence, and where I was just like, my grandma's like, you're never going to get anything in life if you just sit back and then let somebody else get it. You gotta, if you want something, you gotta go get it, Angie. And so for me, I feel like when I go on a golf course, like I said, I go to Pelican, and I remember just walking there and I'm like, oh, I deserve to be here. I'm a great golfer. And so, I walk into the golf, there's times you'll walk in and they're like, oh, can we help you? I'm like, oh yeah, I have a tea time. It's like $250 a person, and they're like, I'm like, oh yeah, foursome, and then they're just kind of wondering like who you are. But I'm like, no, I deserve to be there. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to get some merch, throw it on there. Okay, I'll pay for it. It's like, and so with that, then you have the respect, because then all of a sudden you have like, you have people behind you or in front of you, and they'll see you and they're like, oh, she could play golf, and that's where it came, like when they see people, they're like, I see you out there, like they'll be on the other hole and they're like, oh, I saw you do that hole. And then, you're just like, and they're like, and then like in Utah, it's kind of, they're like, oh, I see you. You're for us. You're like on Instagram. I like, let me know when you want to play. I'm like, whenever you want to play, this is where I'll be. So I'm just like, that's why I tell the girls, you got to be confident. Like anybody I play with good golfers, and I play with golfers that are not so good. I have bad days and I have great days. Like I was going through a little funk, and then all of a sudden I came back. But obviously it's consistency, it's playing all the time, and it's knowing your game and what you need to work on. So yeah, I love the game so much so that it doesn't really faze me. Like I don't care who I'll play next to, Tiger Woods or Michael Jordan, and I would be confident to be like, hey, I messed up off the tee. I'm going to go ahead and drop. This will be 3. All right, I can still say par. Let's move on,
Yeah. So golf is definitely male dominated, and you have the confidence to step up. But have there been times where you just want you and your women friend to just enjoy around? And if you do that on the regular, how is those different when you walking in being paired with male and when you're being paired like, hey, those are just other women? What about that is significant for you?
Yeah, like getting paired up, like the difference between like the men and the women, it depends. Like if I'm just playing with my girlfriends, it's fun. Like I have girls that like just barely got into it, and sometimes I have to play with them like, Angie, don't keep score, because like they don't take it as serious, and then you're gonna get yourself upset, and so I try to really like, okay, these are the friends I'm going with. They just like to have fun. They're going to have a couple cocktails. I'm cool with that. So I'm just there to have fun. And then I'll help them. They'll ask me and they're like, why did my ball go that way? I'm like, well, look where you are aimed. You're aimed that way. And also, like you're popping your head up. So I kind of like it when I go with my friends that are not so good, because I'm literally doing, I feel like I'm giving them a lesson. And what feels so good to me when that is, and like we're keeping pace, we're not holding anybody up, is when they do what you incorporate it, and then they're like, oh, I'm like, so that feeling is good, isn't it? So I kind of like that. You have fun, we do funny videos. I posted funny videos with my friend, and just be like, and people laugh, because they're like in it, they're like, you're right. You got to pick and choose who you play with. And then she's like, did you do that funny video of me? I'm like, it's funny because everybody says you got to pick and choose who you play golf with. It's either going to be a serious golf day or it's not going to be, But I love it too when I play. I have guy friends that are great. Even my ex, he was, what was he, a handicap? I think he was a 4, and just, he like, just spot on, just everything. He darts birdies. I mean, every time he's walking away with like on a hole 9, 5, 6 birdies. I mean, he was like so good. And then he kind of like, eased back. He wasn't doing sales as much. COVID happened. And then I started getting, like, he said, man, you're playing all the time. So we started playing together, and There was times I maybe beat him, but then now I play, I beat him all the time. And you can there's times where he's like, I don't even like this game anymore. But I'm like, you don't like it because I'm beating you, And I'm like, dude, I'm just here to learn. I'm like, he literally was the first one that taught me everything. But you can see that, he's like, he'll do stuff like, well, I'm done with this hole. And I'm like, okay, it's cool. It's fine.
Yeah.
But
I like that. So what's your vision for both your Instagram page, like for women of color to see someone else playing, and improving in the game, and also for your fashion brand? Like, what is the purpose? What's the gap or that you're trying to close, or the dent you're trying to make in the industry?
So my whole vision for Instagram is to grow like an authentic and page where like I have people there that are like, they love my content, but they love what it's for. Like I do it because I want people to know that it's like, you don't have to be so serious. But I also want young Black children, especially girls, to be like, I want to play golf. And there's so many of them. Like I follow them and they are like amazing golfers. And I'm like, I see that. And I'm, oh my gosh, like there's this girl, like I think her name is Kyla. She got a hole in one. And I was like flat. And I haven't had a hole in one. So I want my page to grow because I want to touch somebody. I get people the same, like, you're doing a great job. I got into golf because I saw you. And my brand, I want my brand to be around forever. I want to be able to have it where I get all the Black golf influencers together and we can do a tournament together. Like I'm talking like East Side, I'm talking about Black Golf Babes, and I want us like all Black golf content creators. And we find I have contacts here. We could even do a golf tournament here where we all get together and whatever the money we put, that money is like a scholarship for someone, even if they got a golf scholarship, but it's for whatever other stuff they need, golf clubs, whatever, lessons. And that's my next. I wanted to reach out to a lot of Black golf content creators and say, what can we do to make this happen, to have us where we all get together and do Black golf content creators golf tournament. And I think it would be amazing, And then you have can you imagine our swag bags would be crazy. And, I'd reach out to big names out there. It would be amazing, it'd be absolutely amazing.
I like that. The idea of giving back, of reaching back out and sharing with other people, provide accessibility, because I think a lot of people, oh my God, I got to buy clubs that are expensive. Yeah. You're able to provide that for them. I think that's a really brilliant and innovative idea. Tell me about the bucket hat you're wearing now. I like it because I like the binary of like the mosaic of black and white, but I also like that the top is a little bit higher than what I generally see.
Yeah, the ones that are kind of down. Yeah. So this is like a sample. So I was just bucket hats would be cool. And so I got a sample from one of the manufacturers. Because I want it a checkered kind of gingham, whatever. And so I still want to incorporate that with different colors. Like I wanted to get pink and white because obviously that looks great on the skin, darker skin. And so, that's so this was the first, and then we're doing another, and it kind of also it flips. So it does the black part with the FOREUS.
Oh, nice.
So it's a reverse.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing now. So, just trying new things. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to be able to just and also get input from people. Like, what would you love to see? Because, sometimes you can see a creative side and you have these ideas, but I also want to see whatever, everybody else, I would love your input. Okay. Tell me, all right, that sounds good. And then you incorporate that. Cause, I would love HBCU, to be able to incorporate, if I'm hey, can I sponsor, Tennessee State and have them, the girls all wear, my FOREUS brand, and then they could put their name in there, but I just I just send them the clothing. That's what I would love to do,
That sounds really good. That sounds really exciting. So I want to get a little place in me, because oftentimes I have a positivity bias, right? I always the good things in everything, right? But I also know that that also comes, as people say, there are hills and valleys, right? So what have been some valleys for you in golf since you started?
Ugh. I don't, how can I say, like, low points?
Okay.
I,
Yeah.
yeah, I think like, you kind of sometimes like get discouraged. So obviously we know there's a bias in the algorithm. Say you take two people, say you take somebody that's like non-black, and you guys are
Mhm.
doing the same content and you're putting the same work, and then that person could be growing and getting this, and then you're still, like, so there's sometimes where you're just like, okay, what am I doing wrong? If I'm posting every day and, I'm engaging with people that are like, commenting, which they say, you're like, what is the difference, And so sometimes you kind of get sidetracked where you're like, wow, like you like start to like second guess, like, is what I'm doing, am I not pushing it out there, or are people not really thinking that I'm serious? So there's times where I'm just like, but I had my friends and stuff. They're like, you just got to like keep doing what you're doing, and like, don't look at the numbers, don't look at the growth, because you'll get caught up in that. And then your focus is not on what you want, And so that's why I have to be like, you know what? I can't focus on that. Like if that person has 50,000 and you have 2,000, like you got to keep doing so you're reaching people. And so I think that like there's times where the low happens like that. But then I also have to think my life is so different from that person. What if that person has 10 hours to post that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of time. Like if content creating and FOREUS was all I was doing, oh, it'd be a different story,
Yeah.
So that's what I
Yeah.
have to look at. Like my life is way more busier, and I'm fitting like this short amount of time to do this,
I think that's a really, really great way from approaching it, because I don't know, but for me, like, I'm a numbers person, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to analyze things. So as hard as it may come across, I can't. A lot of time, I'm saying to myself, no, 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 don't look at the numbers. It doesn't matter. You have a
Yeah,
9 to 5, but it's really hard
it
to
is.
walk away from that, because there's been value added to that, right? So it
Yeah.
almost like their currency, it adds to your worth.
Yeah.
Wait, oh my God, 3 people unfollowed today. Why?
Yes.
Like all of these things, but you
Yeah.
be able to kind of create that balance to say, hey, me and this person are probably not alike at all,
No.
because this is in addition to everything else I'm doing, and it could be just theirs, right?
Yeah.
It could be all they do for their work. So I
Yeah.
completely appreciate that. Yeah, that
You
can
do,
be.
you do. You get caught up in that, like you said, like, and then you're like, well, who unfollowed me, and like you're like, you
There you
can't,
go.
you can't. You got
There
to be
you-
like, you know what? I'm gonna find two other ones, but that's why I sometimes hop on my like, I'll do my stories and I have those conversations. I have really, really like transparent conversations, like, hey guys, this is what I'm doing, and because I want people to know, like, because I know a lot of people get distracted, and I also try to stay away from like, I know it sounds bad, but when I look at a lot of girls that have like a big following,
Mhm.
they're decent golfers, but they're also like, and it sounds bad because I'm all for women, I don't even care, but like I feel when you're showing a lot of skin, you get a lot more people following you, and I don't want to be that person. Like I'm a mom, and I want people to look at me for like, she's a great golfer and she's a great business owner, and I don't want to be known for that, and I'm not here to like step on anybody's toes. I don't want to disrespect you. That's fine. But that's not how I want to be known. I want people to be like, oh my gosh, Angela, she is amazing. Her brand is great. She's a great golfer. I would put her with anybody to golf. She is so friendly, like she's so respectful, and she's, and she knows her worth. And so that's where I also say, like, I'm different from people like that.
And look, I can honestly say that definitely comes across in your page, right? So when I see your story or I look at the reels that you've created, I always get the impression that no, 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 we're doing this because this is my whole self.
Yep.
This is part of me. I go to the gym. I have to take care of business. Hey, guess what? This whole week I haven't played. I'm trying to get back into the groove. Oh, you know what? I can only get the backyard now. It's snowing. Everything is happening. I could hit a couple That's what I get from your
Yeah.
opinion. And it's really reassuring and very comforting because a lot of times, let me speak for myself. I'm getting off work and I'm like, man, I haven't posted in a while. What can I get? How can I? And then
Yeah.
rushed. And I often feel those moments when you're rushing just to do it, to
Yes.
show people, they, at least for me, they never come across as very authentic.
No, they don't. They don't. Because you're like, you think that you're like, I haven't posted in so long, and then you'll just post something, and then you play with your mind. You're like, oh, why did that get the views that I thought it was gonna get? And you're just
Right.
like, because you're just don't post to post. Like I know people are like, you got to plan out your like week posts, and you do, but like it's coming up with stuff. Like you don't realize, like you got to come up with stuff. You got to try to be authentic, and you don't want to take from other people. But that's what content creators do. They put a little twist on it. Like
Yep.
I really enjoy watching and they're guys like the Hood Golf. Have you seen those? The like
I-
they're amazing and they're so funny and they're great golfers. But they're
yeah.
so authentic. Like I'll see people like will make comment and like they'll respond back in like funny ways, and I'm just like, but there's if you met them, they'd be so authentic, and that's what I
Yeah.
appreciate. So
Yeah. I think authenticity plays a huge part in what I
yeah,
appreciate what you bring forward. So I want to, before we end, I always want to ask, like, how do people get to your product? How do people connect with you?
yeah.
Instagram is there, your product. Where do they go on Instagram to buy your product, or do they go to
Yeah.
for
So the best way, like so right
com?
now, I'm working on my website because I'm waiting. My samples and all that stuff is coming. So right now, it's like if anybody wants anything,
Mm-hmm.
they have to just reach out to me. But I'm not gonna put the website on until all my product comes. Because then when that product comes, I gotta put all different girls. And I mean, I gotta do I gotta reach out to women of color in Utah because I need them to all be wearing it, and I gotta do a big photo shoot. And then as soon as that happens, then it's going to get blasted all over, Instagram. So everybody will know. But I'll definitely have like something where it'll be like coming soon, and that will have the pop-ups of stuff
Yeah,
coming soon. So yeah, that's definitely, my goal is like the 1st of September, like with that.
to get that out there. What you've always lived in Utah?
No, I'm Colorado. I've lived half in Colorado and half in Utah. I moved back here to help take care of my grandma because my grandpa
Okay.
had passed away. Yeah. So yeah, I haven't always lived here. I've lived all different places, but yeah, my hope is like by next year move to Tennessee and Nashville where my sister is.
Oh, so you're gonna go move south from?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to
Yeah.
be more, yeah. I'm like the cold. Utah's cool, but it's cold. I'm over the winter. Yeah.
I think that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
And do you have like to get on to play golf in a year? Is
I know.
How many months in a year?
It depends. Utah is so like last season. I mean, people saw me. I was playing there's times I was playing in November and December because there wasn't a lot of snow, so they'll let you still play and you'll just do cart path only. There's 2 golf courses here that will still stay open, but when it's snowing, it's not happening. And I like simulators, but like it's just not the same. It's really not the same. And so I try to get some trips. Like if you can get to Arizona, they're always 70 degrees in the wintertime. And they have over 188 golf courses. So that's where a lot of people go to go play when they leave Utah is go to Arizona.
To Arizona, but you're making your way.
Yeah, Tennessee. Because there's just I feel like, especially with with the whole black golfers and black women, it's more like city girls golf is in Atlanta, ladies who golf is in Atlanta. But I really want to try to start FOREUS golf in Utah first, and then have a chapter here that runs it still. And then I can still come down and help and do golf tournaments. Cause I also have a guy, he is called Brothers for Life. I've known him for a while. He's Lee, and he has probably, I play with all of those guys. There's 45 of those guys, and he does his own Brothers for Life. It's cool. He has a fist, and they've been knowing each other forever. And there's 45 guys, and they play golf every Sunday together. So I'm trying to have us do a FOREUS and Brothers for Life golf tournament before the end of the season.
So you have all, at least from what I'm hearing here, you're covering all aspect.
Yeah.
Recreation, you kind of like recreational, oh my God, I'm losing my words. Recreational golf. You
Yeah.
have tournament. You have the fashion brand, clothing. I mean, you have everything covered. So
Yeah.
what you expect maybe like 2 to 3 years from now? Like, what's the first? Is it the tournament? Is in the recreation in terms of like giving back? What's
Yeah,
first for
that
you
tournament
in
is
the
what I
next
really
few
want to
years?
do. I think that tournament would be amazing because they're just going to keep on being like golf content creators coming out, especially of color. And I know they
Okay.
do. And I've seen a lot of like East Side and all of the celebrities like Trap Golf. They have like all the celebrity golfers.
Yeah.
It would be so cool just to get all the golf content creators. You know what I'm saying? And I think that would change the game, especially if it's something that's like every year. And that's what
I
I really
like that.
work. And I think that would be so, if I'm in Nashville, we could do it in Atlanta, cause there's a lot of contacts there, but that would be, that would like be awesome, to do, like have that next year, like September-ish, October-ish of next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Angie, I really enjoyed this conversation. I really appreciate you taking the time to share with us the vision, the mission, how you're being really purposeful about what you're doing, both on the course and also in the brand, which provide accessibility for women of color and all women in general to be able to
Yeah.
see in its most authentic self. So I'm super grateful for that. Anything you want to share with us, share with our listeners that we should know about the brand or what you want to do? Where are you playing next? The next tournament?
I'm hoping I can play this Sunday, Monday, like I'm going to try to get up in the morning because it's so hot here. Like we're like 100. So if you don't get out there by like, 6:30, but if you're a diehard, you just get water. And if you go around 3 or 4, no one's out there, you just dig deep. So I'm hoping to play Sunday, Monday, I go to the same courses because I can just get out by myself. And then obviously get content because I'm really respectful.
Yeah.
I don't want to hold up anybody, and it's cameras set up and stuff like that. So I go to the same Pebblebrook. There's one golf in the round. I know both of the golf pros there that are really super nice, and they're the ones that are like, well, let us know when you have your brand. We'll hold your brand here. And what I want people to know is like I'm approachable. If you see me out somewhere, if you want to like reach out to me on Instagram, if you want to do like a collab, I want to do like, I got a couple more sweatsuits. Sweat hoodies. I want to do a giveaway away. And I'm probably going to get with Lombardi and have like a putter with a hoodie and a hat. And I just want to do a giveaway. And then I want to get some more sweatsuits because I want to like reach out to a lot of the WNBA girls.
Nice.
And then kind of send them out to them but I got to get some bigger ones. They're like tall girls, but I just want to send them a care package. Nice. And then say, hey, appreciate what you guys are doing. This is my brand. Cause like I said, there's not a Black woman that has a golf brand right now. It's all,
Yeah.
and I feel like I know that I can be the one, I really know I can be the one.
There it is. I appreciate you sharing that, hey, the market for women golf fashion is wide open. And I hope that you take over like Fubu did in the fashion world. So I would really love to be able to like see a collab with you and Lombardi because Paul is super nice. I don't know if you talk with him, but
no, I want to know. He's always saying to come down there. I would love to golf with him.
Oh my God, super nice, really chill. But yeah, I like that. I'll look out for your stuff, and I hope everyone who's listening will pay attention, subscribe, follow FOREUS, on Instagram. And so that when the merch drop, we can get them. So Angie, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
No problem. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. Have an amazing day.
You as well. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk More Action Golf podcast. We hope that you've enjoyed today's episode. A big shout out to our producer and creative director, Ajane Josepha, for bringing the show to life. And a special thank you to Sid Mac for our fantastic music. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast on your favorite platform. Follow us on social media for the latest update and exclusive content at Let's Talk More Action Golf. I'm your host, Luke Josepha. Until next time, keep swinging easy, and remember, let's talk more action golf.
Keep your head high when you going through it. I saw dead bodies licking the eyes of the living, held back as you held back from making bigger decisions. We get lost, but this journey comes with us down. That's a given. That's a given. That's a given. We get lost, but the journey
Let's
comes with us
talk
down.
more action golf.